and everything got wet. And just ruined about, probably 75% of what I had.
Charles Risher. This is May 12th, 1988. This is Joe Todd and an interview with Mr. Charles Risher in Kansas City, Missouri, but you live in Kansas City, Kansas. So where were you born?
Banks, Arkansas.
And when's your birthday?
9/29/24.
9/29/24. Okay. What part of Arkansas is Banks located?
Southeast Arkansas.
And how long did you live there?
17 years.
Did you go through high school there?
Yes.
Did you join the Navy after the Marines after high school?
Yes.
Okay. Why the Marines over the Navy or the Army?
Well, I saw this Marine dressed up in them dress blues, and I thought that was the outfit I ought to be with.
And when did you join the Marines?
June 12th, 1941.
And where'd you go for boot camp?
San Diego.
San Diego. Tell me about boot camp.
Well, it was probably one of the most, when you look back now, one of the most degrading experiences I ever went through. It was something that was totally different, that I had ever expected. You were a non-person, so to speak. But in retrospect, when you look back, I presume, well, I know that that was a training that they put forth, and that's what they wanted you to do. But it was something totally different than what I had expected.
And how long did boot camp last?
We were there 2 months.
2 months. And from San Diego, where'd you go?
Well, I went, when I was through with boot camp, then I was sent to sea school there in San Diego.
Now, what's sea school?
Well, they train you to serve aboard ship.
Did you request sea school?
Yes.
So, is sea school strictly voluntary then?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And how long did that last?
Oh, it's about a month and a half. And then when we was graduated from sea school, we were assigned ships. And I was assigned to the Oklahoma. And it was in Pearl Harbor at that time. And I went from Long Beach to Honolulu on the heavy cruiser Salt Lake City.
And did you request the Oklahoma, or were you just assigned?
No, I was assigned.
Okay. Why are the Marines on board the battleships?
Well, they have a multitude of services that they perform. They man guns, is the same as the Navy. And you serve as a watchdog of the ship, so to speak.
Have a police type or guard?
Well, yeah, it was guard, and you serve as captain's orderlies, things of that nature.
Did you serve as captain's orderly?
No, I was in the regular guard.
Now, when you say regular guard, what?
Well, you stood watches like everyone else, whatever guard duty that was assigned, that's what you did.
And what division were you a member?
We were known as a Marine detachment.
Marine
There was no
detachment.
division.
Okay. And where were your quarters on board the ship?
Oh Lord, second deck, aft.
That
see where the big guns are.
Okay, here.
Or the 5-inch. Here they are here, the casement guns. And we were right below that in the second.
Okay, so, yeah, right in this area right in there. Okay. Describe your quarters.
Well, this is like all Navy ships. It was just a big room or a compartment with fold-up type bunks and a very small recreation area. And that's about it.
And the bunks were stacked, weren't they?
Yeah, stack bunks. Yes.
Okay. Now, which bunk did you have?
I was in the second bunk.
Second bunk. Okay. Where'd you take your meals on the ship? Your mess hall. Right?
At the regular mess hall for the whole ship.
Okay. Okay. So, what was your average day on the Oklahoma? From
Reveille and clean quarters and whatever was assigned, for that day.
Did you have anything that you had to do every day? Any specific details?
Not really.
And where was your station during general quarters?
I was on a 5-inch gun.
5-inch gun. On the port or starboard
I was
side?
on the port side.
Port side. And where were you during abandoned ship? Where was your station?
I was standing quarters, or not standing quarters, but color guard.
Color guard. You're an abandoned ship?
Yes.
Why do they have a color guard for?
Well, the 48 watch. After the watch was completed, you were relieved early, and the 48 watch always stood colors.
Okay.
And I was had the 48 watch that morning, and I was in the color guard that morning.
Okay. But in the practice, when you had abandoned ship, the drill, where'd you go? Did you have a certain station that you went to?
Not that I remember.
Okay.
I don't ever remember that drill.
Okay. What was the reaction of the Hawaiians to the mainlanders?
Well, it was a good relationship. The time that I was there, it was no different than anywhere else that I'd ever been in my lifetime.
So, December 6th, Saturday, what'd you do?
December 6th was my day off at Liberty.
So you were in Honolulu, or?
Yes.
Did you notice anything different?
Nothing, whatever.
No. So, where was your favorite hangout in Honolulu?
Well, I really don't. I don't know. I don't remember the places. I wasn't really there that long. To have a favorite place or anything like that.
So you got back to the ship about what time?
Oh, probably 6 in the evening.
Oh, I didn't ask what rank did you have when you
Private.
went on board. Private.
Private.
So we got back on board about 6. So what'd you do?
Well, had the evening meal and went to bed. Well, I had to watch that night.
So you had to watch that night?
Yes.
What time?
4 to 8 watch.
4 to 8. 4 in the morning?
A.M. Yeah.
Okay. So you got up at 4 o'clock, and what'd you do on watch?
I stood a brig watch that
You know,
night.
what's the bridge watch?
Brig.
Oh, brig.
Prison
Brig.
watch.
Where is a brig in the Oklahoma?
I couldn't tell you.
Was below deck?
Oh, it's below decks, yes.
You have anyone in the brig?
Yes.
What would a sailor do to be thrown in the brig?
Oh, get drunk, fight, any infraction of the rules or whatever.
And what were your duties on brig watch?
Just stand guard and see that he didn't break out. For why, I don't know. Where's he going if he breaks out?
And just the regular jail, isn't it? Just
Yes,
bars
yes,
and all that?
yes, right.
They couldn't break out then, could they?
Well, no, it's locked.
So,
The master at arms had the key, you know, so how's he gonna get out? I don't have the key.
So, were you still on the watch when they sent you your quarters? Were you at the brig watch?
No, we were relieved early. The 4-8 watch is always relieved early to stand cars, so, you know, we were topside, standing.
What uniform did you have on?
Khaki.
Khaki. Would you describe in detail from the first time you noticed something was wrong until it was over?
Well, the first thing that I remember was an explosion about midship. Of course, we'd saw these planes come. First, we thought it was a practice, naval practice. And then after we felt the explosion, then we knew that everything wasn't kosher like it's supposed to be. Look up, you see all these red discs on these planes, and we knew they were Japanese. And the next thing I noticed was the machine gun boats hitting the deck. See the splinters. And you stand there, you really don't know what to do, whether the brake rings or whatever, you know. You're told to stand there until somebody dismisses you. There was never a dismissal. They did raise the colors. And the next thing I know, I blew off the ship. And the next thing, when I come to, after I guess I hit the water, there was a motor launch there. And it was Maryland. They had a motor launch in the water. They picked me up.
Okay, what blew you off the ship?
The concussion.
Torpedo? Okay. Where exactly were you?
We were right on the fantail.
Okay.
Right back here by the, right here.
Okay. By the airplane there?
Yes.
So you were back in this area and torpedo hit and the concussion blew you overboard.
Yes.
When you came to, where were you in the harbor?
Well, we were right there on Battleship Row, where we were all tied up.
Okay, was the Oklahoma already over when you woke up?
It was turning over.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it turn
What were you thinking at that point?
over. Well, Lord, let me live.
Now that's a lot of massive steel turning over.
Oh, yeah.
How close were you to it?
Oh, probably, I really don't. Probably, I would say, maybe anywhere from, I really don't, 0 to 50 yards or something like that.
And which side? Were you port side or starboard?
They blew me off on the starboard side.
The starboard side, so you were inboard, you're between the Maryland and the Oklahoma?
Yes.
And there was a motor launch you say picked you up? Any idea how long you'd been in the water?
I have no idea.
Okay. Were you knocked unconscious?
Oh, yes.
And was the oil in the water yet? Was the oil covered the water?
Yes.
So you were in oil?
Yes.
And where did the motor launch take you?
To the Maryland.
What'd you do then?
Well, they got me up there and dried me off, and they gave me some clothes. And then they sent us down below deck. Because we didn't, you know, we were just excess people in the way. What they wanted to do was get us out of the way. And then after the attack was over, then they said, well, all of the Oklahoma people go over to Fort Isle. Then we went over there. Then we stayed there that night.
Where'd you stay in Fort Isle?
Oh, we just milling around, no place to stay or nothing, you know, we were just there. And then the next day, the 8th, they sent us to the Marine Barracks. Then we were there for, I guess, probably, I don't remember, well as I remember, about 3 days. And they split us up. Some were assigned to Marine Barracks. Some were assigned to the Indianapolis. And I was assigned to the Chicago. And then we went to sea. And I think the original intentions were that we go to Guam. Then they decided that was a lost cause, so when we came back to Pearl Harbor, then we were reassigned to the Marine Barracks there in Pearl Harbor, but we still kept the designation of USS Oklahoma crew.
So, how long did you have that designation?
Oh, up until probably 1943.
Could you see the hull of the Oklahoma from Marine Barracks?
Oh, no, no.
Okay. When you first got on Ford's Island, could you see the Oklahoma?
Oh, yeah, you could see it turned up, the keel was in the air.
When you saw it upside down, what'd you think?
Well, you don't know what to think. They tell you that battleships are unsinkable, and here it is upside down. You don't know, or at least I didn't know. Everything you've been taught, was totally wrong. Something else had happened.
Were you there? Could you see him cutting the men out?
No, I didn't see him cut any men.
How long were you at Pearl Harbor then? After the Chicago, they brought you back.
Oh, we was there till 1943.
Were they raising the Oklahoma then?
Oh, yeah, they were raising it then, yes.
Did they have it upright before you left?
They had turned it up, and they had went in, and they had salvage crews there. And they had went through the ship, went through the lockers, and salvaged whatever they could out of the lockers. The only thing that I got out of my locker was a ship's coupon book. And I had that I kept it for years. And somewhere during the years, I lost it. I don't know where it went. But I would dearly love to have it today, but I don't know what happened to it. It's one of those things that I've misplaced, or it was thrown away with something else. I don't know what happened to it, but I would dearly love to have that.
How did it
today.
survive being underwater that long?
It was in good shape. It was kind of discolored, but you could tell everything was on it. Did you ever see a ship's coupon book? Well, at the barber shop and the gee-dum shop and all of those, you didn't spend money. You had these coupon books, and that was money. You went down and bought you an ice cream cone, for a nickel, and you gave them a nickel shit. So there was no money involved, just you'd buy these books.
After you left Hawaii, where'd you go?
Went to the Marshall Islands, and was in on the invasion of the Marshall Islands. And when that was secured, then we stayed there until the latter part of May of 1944. And then we were sent back to the United States.
Now, were you still seagoing Marine this time?
No, I was assigned to the 15th Defense Battalion.
And what'd you do with the invasion of the Marshall Islands? What happened?
Well, I was assigned to a heavy seacoast artillery, 155 millimeter guns, and that was our part of it.
Was that a hard invasion, Marshall?
Oh, yes.
What wave were you in? The first wave? Second
Oh,
wave?
no. It was we went in. They started early in the morning, and we went in late afternoon after they had the beaches secured. We hauled the guns in.
And you came back to the States in 44? 44.
Yeah.
Where were you in VJ Day?
I was on a passenger train on the coming across the Isthmus of Panama. They gave us 6 months in the United States. Then they said, go back. So one day they said, who would like to go to Panama? So I had my head cut in that day, and I said, I'll go down there. So I went down there, and we were assigned to Coca-Cola Naval Air Station. And we rode ships as guards through the canal. If there wasn't a ship either north or southbound, when we got to whatever end of the road we was on, we'd ride the passenger train back to Cologne. I was on the train there the day that they announced the war was over.
You celebrate?
You betcha.
What'd you do?
Went down and had a beer.
How long did you stay in the Marines after the war?
I was discharged November 22, I believe it was, 45.
When you heard they were towing the Oklahoma back and it sprung the leak, broke tow, whatever, and sank, what was your reaction?
Well, it was kind of hard to believe because it was all, I think everybody that had ever been on the ship, hoped it would get back. And,
there's going to be scrap, though.
oh yeah, even though it's going to be scrappy, it was still going home, and there's always that hope that you're going to make it. But it didn't make it, so it was, not a, world-shaking event, but it was another thing that had went wrong.
Do you think they should have another Oklahoma, USS Oklahoma?
Yes, I'd like to see another, which I doubt if there'll ever be. With the means of warfare they have today, it seems to me like that battleship was just an obsolete object. That's all it amounts to.
What's your fondest memory of the Oklahoma?
Probably, for the time I was on there, probably, well, there's two or three. One, we won the Navy for our gunnery expertise, I guess you'd call it. And we had a crackerjack softball team. And we won the Pacific Championship, which is something I always thought a lot about.
Were there any detail you had to do, like hold a stone on the deck or polish the
No,
pipework?
we wasn't.
The Marines didn't do that?
No, we didn't. As far as the operations of the ship, the Marines had no part of that.
Okay. Anything else about the Oklahoma you want to?
What?
Anything else about the Oklahoma you want to mention, or any particular incidents?
Well, that might cover it.
Well, I think we have a good interview.
Well, glad to contribute whatever it was.
Whenever anyone mentions the Oklahoma, what do you think?
Well, I think of it now as, part of the overall picture of the war effort. It's rather sad that the ship wasn't there to complete the whole operation of the war, but that's part of it too.
Was the Oklahoma the first ship hit by a battleship, or
No.
what was the first ship hit, do you know?
Well, let's see. Tennessee, I think, was ahead of us. I can't see. No, Tennessee and Arizona were tied up together.
Let's see, it was the Oklahoma, the Maryland, the West Virginia, Tennessee, and Arizona.
Right. Then California to rear.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Was the West Virginia first one hit, or do you know?
Well, I think the Oklahoma was first.
Oklahoma was first one hit.
As well as I remember, it was the first one that was hit.
So there were the torpedo planes, the dive bombers, and I guess both of those planes strafed it.
Oh yeah, they strafed them too.
Yeah. Well, I guess that'll do it.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. it on and pulled that ship up.
What were those beams they had on the bottom of the ship? What were those? Had those big beams on the bottom of the ship?
Well, I don't know. You mean when it was raising?
Yep.
I don't have no idea.
How long did that take?
Oh, it took a long time. I don't know just how long it was. It was quite a while.
I guess the first thing they took off, I guess, were the bodies.
Yeah.
What was left of it?
Yeah, the fact is, I was on that guard watch. The man that relieved me, he was killed. A guy named Shelby Shook from Springdale, Arkansas.
He was on the brig watch.
Yeah, he relieved me. He was standing the 8 to 12 watch.
Of course, the guys in the brig couldn't get out either.
That bugger got out.
He did.
Yeah.
How'd he get out?
I don't know.
What was his name, or do you remember?
Whiteside.
Was in the brig.
Yeah. It was a Marine.
Somebody, I guess, had to unlock him.
Somebody had to unlock him. That's the only way you get out.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happened to Shelby. I guess, well, there's no telling what happened to him. He didn't make it on.
Yeah, we figured it was 449. Were
Killed. I got to get myself down to Oklahoma City. I always liked that town.
Well, we have the anchor on display downtown. And then at the Omniplex, a big museum, they have the original model of the Oklahoma from 1912, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's, that thing's 6-7 feet long. And we have the Silver Service, one of the big steering wheels. And the plan is that they're going to dedicate the new display December 7th of this year. And everybody in Oklahoma will be invited to the dedication of it.
They drive down there.
And then my director has given me permission to offer Oklahoma City as the site for the 1990 convention.
Well, I'm retired now, so my time's my own, and I can go wherever I please.
What'd you do after that?
I worked in a lumber mill there in Arkansas, where I was born and raised, for 6 months. And I decided there had to be a better way to make a little more money. And so then I came up here and went to work at the Pacific Railroad. Started out as a fireman, up through the ranks to engineer, and retired as a freight engineer. Kind of a hectic life. You never knew when you was going to work, or when you was going to get home, and all that kind of stuff. That's part of any job. Always. That's what I tell that boy of mine. I says, if you're going to make good money, you're not going to do it 8 to 5 at home.
That's right.
By and large. And I served as a union officer 22 years. Worked 11 years in Omaha. I had an office in Omaha, my home here, which made it kind of hard too. The boy was going to school then, and I didn't want to move up there, so I commuted. But I had a lot of good experiences with the union work, and I enjoyed it.
What union is it? The railroad union?
Mm-hmm. Well, when it started out, I represented the Brotherhood of Locomotive Firemen and Enginemen. But then in 1970, the Firemen's Organization, the Trainmen, the Switchmen's Union of North America, and the ORC&B, which was conductors, they merged and formed a United Transportation Union. In the last 5 years that I worked for the United Transportation Union. The company, they would give you a leave of absence. Your seniority kept right on with all rights, So I had a real good life, working life. I enjoyed it.
That's good. Oh, almost forgot.
It's sad to say, but I just don't remember.
You know, it's.
Because, you know, you really never had that much of a relationship with them.
No, this is true, yeah. You had a few that you went here with, and you went there
Yeah.
with, and that kind of thing, but.
But I don't remember one.
But in our group, gee, I could say it was a band, but there was more than half of them were lost.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you just, you know, and those people too, well, two of them, of course, I remember the name well, because we had been out to 94 together, we always went together, there were three of us, and all together, but the others, I still remember some names.
Yeah.
Well, one kid contacts me now, lives in Sacramento, he just called me 3 or 4 weeks ago, he was on, and he never did come down to the reunion. He's a music nut. I mean, he really is. Even at this age, his wife is about to leave him because of his music. He's so crazy about the jazz and stuff. And he organizes this jazz thing up in Sacramento. And it comes on about the same time of year that this does, in May. And he's just, you know.
Talk about jazz. Do you guys watch PBS very much?
That's
Yeah.
mainly.
Hear about, it's been about 3 months ago, I guess now, that Wolf Trap, you know, right outside Washington, D.C. there. They had that Preservation Hall from New Orleans. They were there. And that was the most enjoyable hour of music that I have heard in a long time.
Really? Yeah.
It was good.
I saw a nice thing too with that, I don't really, person actually leaves me cold, is that Danny Kaye's wife, that Sylvia Fine.
Yeah.
And she puts on something every once in a while, and it's still on PBS. And she had this deal, and it was about musicals, great musicals, like Oklahoma,
Yeah.
and of course for Berlin, and different ones like that. Boy, what a program.
Oh, PBS, I like that PBS station. As far as I'm concerned, they could take everything else other than the news.
Yeah.
That's about all I watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because these sitcoms now, they're.
Oh.
You know, it's
I've
like
never
years
watched
ago when we were young. You know, you saw a Gene Autry movie, you saw them all. They're all B-grade movies, and everything had the same plot, and kiss the horse and ride off into sunset, and that was it.
Yeah.
But today it's go to bed, you know, and or divorce your wife or something like
It
that.
really is something where they are.
But, my wife says that I'm strange. Well, maybe I am, but I just don't like it. I just don't like that kind of TV. It don't. Game shows, that don't get it. These detective stories, that don't get it. I like to see good documentaries and things of that nature. She always says that, well, that's what's now. Well, now don't grab me that much.